All right, good morning. And going here. So things are playing out right on cue this morning from where we thought things were going to happen this week, right from the beginning of the week, stabilization, the next stabilization. Yesterday, if you remember, was better move now, or something like that. I said, better get moving, and it took a little while, again, inching its way up. And so, the beginning of the week, what I said was a possibility was a head and shoulders type of a top that would play out by the end of the week. And so now we'll see if the Qs, well, these are the futures, we'll see if they can get to that 20 MA. Good morning, those of you in YouTube. No, we're not ready to short this. Let's wait for it to run out of steam, right? We're getting a large pattern, a big pattern with a void below. I said it probably wouldn't play out until the following week. That's what I said earlier in the week. So if we get the turn up here, which probably may play into Tuesday, right, of next week, give or take, this is where we look to, at a minimum, break a prior bars low, our first reference point of support. Okay. So now we always have two scenarios. So that is what I envision, so to speak, based on a seasonal week period. We're coming into September, the worst month of the year. Last month I said, look for the middle of the month to make a high. That leveled out and finally came down. Good morning, Fabio. I've got to get you back in the room. I'll take care of that if you're interested. And, the momentum moved down and this playing out, and now there's a void below. So this has to develop unless, someone comes on TV and says something that rattles the market. Just looking at the pattern is in development mode. And that's what's been going on. So, as I said, this needs to round out a shoulder here. And you see it played out here on the breadth internal. Right? I pointed out breadth topped out here. It moved up at a lower level here. It bottomed out at a bullish level there. And one of my thoughts to see if it actually plays out, if we see options activity and calls pick up here into the the end of the week, the beginning of next week, that could push this up. Maybe it won't happen. I don't know. Usually what happens when you have such a deep move, which confirms this move down, this gets slightly above zero before things start rolling over. So this is all based on historical norms. We'll see how it actually plays out. Right? It's not trying to predict the future here. We don't do that. We just look at what is and then see how it, how the past patterns play out in the present. Right? Well, Mr. Powell's talk will have an effect on certain things. So sure. I mean, there's news events, and then there's the collective knowledge that is displayed on a chart as to what everybody believes. And these pictures are a representation of beliefs. And so this is playing out as a picture of distribution so far. I've seen these head and shoulders patterns, rip up to the head there, but we'll see. Right? As I say, the hard right edge is the unknown, or where they call it the hard right edge, because we don't know what it's going to happen. But this is, previous patterns suggested what is happening. Right? So that's what we talked about earlier in the week. And so now we'll see if the rest of it plays out as the markets are moving up here at the open. All right. S&Ps, same story here. It doesn't playing out exactly. They're moving up, sharply here. And so let me look at spiders. where they're at, and they're coming up into the gap fill. Perfecto. Right, which is they're about 421, which would be an ideal spot for sellers to bunk it on the head. All right. I might get a little above 421 just looking at the hourly there. Okay, so there, let's look at SPX. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to want to be up here. And where the hell is it? Yeah, right in front of my eyes. Okay. So it's thereabouts right there. Based on SPY, it's at about 42.23. And we want to get well above that. Let's say up here, 42.80. What does McGraw have? 31.10. Okay, if there's juice up there, Makeup's got 43.50. No, 43.05. What am I talking about? Okay. So you can see the 70 by 80, or you go for less for a little extra safety. 43. Oh. Oh, yeah. No, I know it should be no brainer. It's into the resistance area there. I like it. No, is there anything down below? Because it's unlikely to get down here either. It's going to stay up in here somewhere. Is there any juice down there? 40.90, Jacob Scott. Nah. You got to go to 41.05. 41. Anyway, that's far enough away. Somewhere down 41, if it does start moving down. So you see what's happening here, right? So those are the levels you want to look at. And as this is spiking up, as it gets into the gap fill, that's going to be where you in this area here where you want to go up here and fade that. Yeah. And McGraw's pointing out after Powell talks at 10 o'clock. See, there was this controversy. Is it 10 o'clock? The economic calendar showed 10 o'clock. And some people saying after the close on Friday. And kind of like, didn't seem fair. So once he jabbers whatever it is, things could whip around a bit and then, take its direction for the day. All right, so Q's, yeah, that same story, pushing up into the gap fill, make the right shoulder next week. We'll get some real move there. You can see we looked at that, how it's playing out. Getting a little extended there, saying, everything is kind of moving the same here. It wasn't the same on this side. So this was showing relative strength. It created the void, collapse, get above the 200 just to get the last of the Mohicans in there and collapse back down to support. Russell, somewhat similar to the Dow, but coming up into the area of resistance. That's all very confusing, Maru. I don't know what it means, so I have an advantage over you today. I'm not being influenced by those numbers that I have no idea what they mean. Okay. Sometimes what do they say? Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Good morning, Caesar. It means the VIX will go down. And I know that means the market will go up, but I already can see the market's going up. Interesting bar if it closes like this on Bitcoin. Bottoming tail bar breaking low, but we'll see. If it's a red bar at the end of the day, look out below. If it looks like this, maybe it can pop up a little bit. All right. I don't know what the hell I got but that there for. Silver stabilizing, could be a little bear flag. I'm not going near that. Dollar rolling. It stalled at the prior high. Totally makes sense. And, the 3 months still grinding higher. Still grinding higher. Well, Mr. Powell, you do it or we'll do it. You do it or we'll do it. It keeps pushing up. And, bonds, 5-year stall there at the prior high, of course, looking to the left. Of course, that's what's got to happen. So I wouldn't get enamored by this move up here this morning. And pick your spots as always. We'll see how things turn out. I suspect, we'll see what things end, but as we go into next week, it should be bear call spread heaven. And so we'll see, of course, how that plays out. So we'll see. Steel? No. X. Kind of a mess. Yeah, well, that had a big move, but you got to wait for it to settle down. I mean, I wouldn't chase it. If you were to do something, you would have done it down here near the pivot low. With a relatively tight stop. Euro stabilizing. Dollar stabilizing, interest rate stabilizing. If you're a counter trend trader, maybe it goes up a little bit more, but that kind of whip, don't buy a breakout in something in a downtrend doing this that'll destroy you. They just don't work. Breakouts get faded like that. You want to buy something after it falls hard into a prior area of support if you're going to do it. Below 4,100 should be fine. I mean, you want to get a little adventurous. I don't even think it'll get down here to 4120, 4110 today. So, all yours, Dan.
Good morning. So yeah, the highly anticipated Jackson Hole blabbing. We'll see what happens. All right, all our opens are fine. Let's see, we did a couple earnings short puts, a workday. Now this is just such a beautiful buy setup. After a breakout from a bottoming pattern, it's a deep retracement, but this 3-bar arrangement is what we were looking for to go long on pullbacks and reversals this week. And a lot of them didn't have yesterday's range expansion bar. I'm watching all these ARC ladies see, it's not the same confident reversal, even though they are bouncing with the market. We did workday, we did Ulta. We just did them far away. I forget what I did, like 6 of them myself last night. I gave 2 of them official. I gave Ulta, workday. Those are going to expire worthless today, or close them at a penny if you want. I did this one that's going against me, but I did the 55s, so it's gapping to 83. So that's nothing. With 99% certainty, I'm going to have an open profit. Dell I did for next week, so it's gapping down to 45.70. I did the 42s. So that one this is just off experience. I see how much it's going against me. That one might be a small profit or break even. I just really have no idea because you're just betting on how much volatility crush as opposed to how much it went against you. I did a couple others, but I'll get to them later. So all our opens are fine. Metals moving up here. We have both a directional and naked puts on FCX. That looks good. Thai, yeah, Thai. I love looking at related trades. I call them cousins. So whenever one cousin does good, Uber, Lyft, Coke, Pepsi, I always look at the other one. Cat, deer. So this one, the problem is it doesn't have the potent reversal that I pointed out in Workday, and it doesn't have any support to the left. So it is very bullish. It is making the turn. It does look good over yesterday's high, but I always like throwing out the negatives too. I just saw this little TME going by the ticker, and so this little chart here is my weekly, and this one's the monthly. So obviously monthly doesn't have enough data to come on my chart over here. But look at the beautiful bottoming pattern on the weekly. That's absolute beautiful bottoming pattern. So I said, it's up a little bit here. Let's try to buy it into the gap fill. China stocks are moving here today. Well, they've been moving the last 2 days. Today's Friday. Ever since the gap reversal Wednesday, we've been noting strength here. And I actually saw a little glimpse in the journal today saying that I guess the SEC and their regulatory body, they're trying to work out a deal to allow them to stay listed over here. And so that obviously is giving them a little positive boost. I look at CWEB, looks very similar, 68. The gap's too big though. I just saw Myrna going by the ticker when Greg was talking. It's in a downtrend, but see how, remember Greg did the little video on slowing momentum? This is slowing momentum. Look, bottoming tail, you have a lower low bottoming tail and it didn't go anywhere. So that momentum is slowing and it's making the turn at this level. And now it's gapping up. So that could be a 0 DTE trade. Whiskey Bravo, another bottoming pattern, up too much though. LI. Then I don't like the way it trades, but I love gap reversals. And now it's up. So it could be the start of the turn here at the 200. SGen gapping down 152. It's a fairly big gap, but a definite call spread idea. Megal, I don't know what the heck is going on Megal here. What the heck is this? Went up to 260 bucks as an IPO. And now it looks like in a death trend. That could set up. That could set up at least as a day trade. Let's put Megal there. EA. Yeah, that's what it was about. They said, "Oh, we'll work a deal where the Chinese said, you can fly to China and look at our books if you want." I thought that was like a little FU. Like, I'm not sending you my books. You fly over the pond and come look at them. And I'll put you in a little cave of a room with no air condition and stay in there as long as you want. All right, so Ryden, here's another example. Like that workday turn. See how you got two inside bars? It's trying to make the turn at the 50 on support, down a lot. So when they're down a lot, as a general rule, I do not expect a new high if something retraces all the way down to the 50, because then the retracement's too deep as a general statement. But if this can now, we have a put spread on this. If this can now take out Wednesday's high, then it looks like a directional, because then it will be a more potent turn. Here's a turn on support. We were trying to sell a put spread yesterday and we didn't get filled. And I said, hold off, let's wait till after Powell. We got enough opens. This was earnings yesterday, Piton, and that's a nasty Bear Island reversal. And it's just the premiums are off the charts high still. And that's the only reason I'm going to keep an eye on it. Maybe 30-minute high. We sell some $9 puts for next week. PayPal, there was an article in the journal. And they think it's still a good deal. Weekly, monthly, this is on my core long list. You got a Climo 180 reversal monthly. You got a bottoming pattern breakout weekly. It's just, you got to find your entry on the daily. Echo Alpha, big gap up. Big gap. I don't know why it's up. It's not earnings. FCX we talked about. TMOS, they're going to use SpaceX to fly some satellites, but it's bullish daily, weekly. EVBG 41 and change. That's a big gap, but you know, another weekly bottoming pattern. This could work its way up to $60. So let's watch that on a pullback. SCCO. We bought this yesterday. Actually, 51.15. All right, I'm actually going to offer some out here pre-market since I saw that big gap. All right. And then beautiful bottoming pattern. Somebody in the green room found this, so we bought the stock. This little afternoon breakout and sold naked puts. 613. I don't know what's going on there. That's a big old gap. Roku's a dog. Let's see, it made the turn in a downtrend. So this would be a 0 DTE put spread. If when I give you all these ideas, if you know, I can always use help. Today's going to be a little trickier with Powell talking. Still, that would be a great 1, 2, 3 thing. Get an inside bar or two, and then continue. CCK. That one's run too much for me. Greater than 100%. That one, I don't like that one at all. Pins I saw yesterday. Look at this bar, and look, another beautiful weekly. So I'm going to put that on my core watch list. Hey, will somebody remind me later this afternoon? I want to go through my entire core list and update it. I haven't done that in a while. But look here, I'll give you the long list. And look at that, PayPal is the first one. That's what I said. It was on my list. All right, here's some earnings stocks now. WCN. You know, I can't tell where it's gapping. DHR we talked about. Vino. No interest. You're gone. JKS was one I shorted puts on yesterday. I forget what number. Domo. I didn't do anything with. But it's gapping here to this prior low, so I'm going to watch it just to see if and when buyers want to step up. And I'm running out of windows here. GPS. A retailer that didn't get clobbered like some others this week. All right, 1060. So that's a 0 DT put spread if someone wants to look. Tags, $16. No pattern of interest to me. All right, this one I'm in. It's gapping against us, but I'll watch at the open. ESTC. I'm short the 65s. So I'll say, I'll tell you what it's doing. A firm, I actually did I did the 22s myself that expired today. So with 99.9% certainty, even though things gapping down $4 against me, I won't say 99.9, I'll say 98 that I'm gonna have an open game, just because it's still $4.50 away for 0 DTE. Our Altadale, Workday, we talked about. Marvel, it's a mess, but it's negating the pre-market gap. We'll come back to you. VMware, we'll come back to you. Won't see much to do there. All right, so those are all my gappers. So I have a few minutes. Why don't we take a look at other opens? CAT, we did a put spread, and I also gave a directional, and I didn't see it gapping over. That was a beautiful setup, a little bear sandwich breakout. I'm gonna have to say hold off now because of the gap. Let's hold off for gap fill. Tesla. All right, so I like when I hear bells at the open, because those are pre-market orders I put in. Let's see what that was. Oh, I sold some of my SCC. Oh, I put in an order pre-market, and I got filled 51.30. That's a beautiful bottoming pattern.